Welcome to today's Explainer. Picture this. You open a brand new social media account today. You've got 0 followers, 0 personal brand, and here's the kicker, you absolutely refuse to show your face on camera. Now, most folks out there, they'd tell you building a profitable digital presence from scratch like that is literally impossible. But today, we're going to completely shatter that myth. We are diving into a literal step-by-step blueprint for building a highly lucrative digital business without ever once putting yourself on camera.
Just to put things into perspective right out of the gate, we're analyzing the exact strategy that took an account from absolute zero, nobody had a clue who they were, to pulling in over $4,500 in income in just 60 days. Seriously, no flukes here, no magic tricks. Just a pure, calculated entrepreneurial approach to digital real estate. Here's the roadmap we're covering today. First, the Faceless Instagram opportunity. Second, 3 steps for absolute beginners. Third, winning the Instagram algorithm. Fourth, turning engagement into loyalty. And finally, scaling trust into income.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the Faceless Instagram opportunity.
Look, we really need to challenge this massive misconception that you have to be this huge, charismatic, on-camera personality to crush it as a digital entrepreneur nowadays. A faceless channel is exactly what it sounds like, but strategically, it's so much more. It's a value-first content ecosystem, meaning the content itself is the star of the show, not you. Because here's the golden rule you have to remember. The algorithm honestly does not care if you're famous. It only cares if your content actually makes people stop scrolling. If you can hook them with high-quality targeted info, your personal identity is totally irrelevant to your success.
Moving right along to Section 2, 3 steps for absolute beginners.
So, every successful digital entrepreneur builds their foundation on these 3 actionable steps. First up, choose one specific niche. Next, plan 30 days of content in advance. And third, hook and answer just one question per post. Let's really break these down.
Step 1 is absolutely vital. You cannot be a generalist here. You can't just post about fitness on Monday, finance on Tuesday, and then travel on Wednesday. No way. You have to clearly communicate to the system exactly what your digital asset is all about. The absolute best pages out there, they solve one single problem over and over again from 100 different angles. That intense repetition is what builds your ultimate authority.
Now for step 2, planning out those 30 days of content. Look, you don't need to sit there agonizing over a blank screen. You absolutely should leverage AI to speed up brainstorming and draft things up quickly. But, and listen, this is a massive but, you cannot just copy and paste. Every single post has to be manually verified, tweaked, and injected with real, actionable usefulness before you hit publish. Think of AI as your speedy assistant, not the master creator.
And all of that planning leads us to step 3, which really boils down to one critical number: 3 seconds. Literally, the first 3 seconds of your video are the make or break window. If you don't grab their attention right then and there, they are gone. Your hook has to be visually and textually arresting, and the video itself should just focus on answering one simple question. Keep it tight. Don't overwhelm the viewer. Just give them one clear, super satisfying takeaway.
That brings us to Section 3, winning the Instagram algorithm.
Every entrepreneur needs a major reality check when dealing with algorithms. What beginners usually expect is that you post a great video and boom, instant viral fame overnight. But the reality? At first, the platform is barely going to show your content to anyone. You're going to see very low initial views, and guess what? That is completely normal. The system is just testing you. It wants to see if you're consistent. So you have to treat every single early post as a learning opportunity to figure out what actually clicks.
And while you're testing, you're looking for very specific signals. A passing view is fine, sure, but you really want to design your content to drive saves and shares. Think about it. A save tells the algorithm, hey, this is highly useful, I need to come back to this later. A share says the content is super relatable. These actions are worth their weight in gold compared to just a simple like, because they heavily push the algorithm to favor your page.
If you focus on consistency over perfection, your watch times are naturally going to creep up as you dial in your content. And longer watch time directly leads to higher algorithmic reach. It's a clear pipeline. After a few weeks of steady posting, the system recognizes, hey, people are sticking around for this, and it automatically starts blasting your page out to a much wider audience.
Next up, Section 4, turning engagement into loyalty.
We really need to reframe how we measure success here. So many beginners just obsess over follower counts. But listen, a follower who doesn't actually trust you is practically useless for a digital business. Followers alone are not the goal. Helping people solve problems is the actual goal. When you consistently deliver real solutions, you stop chasing vanity metrics and start building genuine, unshakable trust.
And to build that kind of trust, you have to stand out. Turning a quick viewer into a fiercely loyal follower means you have to rigorously analyze the posts that flop, learn what your niche actually wants, and then inject your own unique flavor. You figure out what formats work, you improve the actual information, and you deliver it in a way that only you can. That right there is the secret sauce for dominating a crowded, faceless market.
Finally, Section 5, Scaling Trust into Income. Now, this specific pipeline is where the magic happens. Notice how you do not start by selling anything. Step 1 is simply educating your audience for free. Step 2, through all that consistent value, you build profound trust. And Step 3, once you have that trust established, it becomes incredibly natural to recommend helpful digital products. Honestly, your audience will actually thank you for the recommendations because you've already proven you know how to fix their problems.
Remember that $4,500 income we talked about earlier? It wasn't an accident. It was the direct result of this exact compounding staircase. Plan, create, post, learn from your analytics, improve the next batch, and repeat the whole thing. It is just steady, relentless dedication to making your system a tiny bit better week after week.
But to actually get to that point, you've got to remember this number right here, 0. Every single massive, highly profitable digital page you see today started with exactly 0 followers. They all pushed through those brutal initial low views. They all had posts that completely flopped. Patience isn't just a virtue here, it's an absolutely non-negotiable part of the strategy.
And that wraps up today's explainer. You've got the complete blueprint now. You know for a fact you don't need to show your face to provide massive value and build a really profitable digital business. The only piece missing is execution. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Knowing everything you know now, what kind of faceless page are you going to start today? Think about your specific niche, think about the real problems you can solve, and take that very first step. Thanks for hanging out with me, and keep learning.